Hi, Colin with Diode Dynamics here to show you how to install our SS3 pods using the Type GM bracket on a 2015 to 2019 Chevy Colorado using basic hand tools. Let's get started. We're going to go ahead and install the SS3 pods onto the Type GM brackets before we install them onto the vehicle. So the first thing we're going to want to do is place our supplied nuts in the back of the work light housing itself. With the nuts installed in the back of the housing, we're going to take our Type GM bracket and slide it onto the back of the housing to where the longest fixed pin is towards the bottom of the work light. With the bracket installed in the back of the work light, we're going to take our supplied bolts and washers and put them into the side of the bracket, and we're going to hand tighten them so that we have room for adjustment later. So we're going to be starting the installation on the driver's side of the vehicle, and as you can see, we've got the wheel all the way cut to the left. That's because we're going to need that extra space to access the back of the bumper. We're starting here in the wheel well because the first thing we're going to do is remove this fender liner by removing these 6 T15 Torx screws. Now what we're going to want to do is pull this fender liner back so that we can gain access to the back of the bumper. The next thing we're going to want to do is access these tabs that are around the bezel. There's 2 on either side and 1 at the bottom. You can see a few here. These are difficult to show, so what we're going to do is remove these and then give you a better visual of how to actually remove these tabs once it's out of the vehicle. So now that the stock bezel is off of the bumper, I can more easily show you these tabs and how to remove it. So as you can see, we have the 5 tabs that I mentioned before. What I did was I grabbed a flathead screwdriver and I actually used the screwdriver to pry this tab down and away from these slots in the front bumper, and I just twisted. And then you're going to pull from the front of the bumper. It might take a little bit of wiggling to get it out. You may need to use a little bit of force, but definitely be careful. We do not want to break these tabs. So moving on to the back of the bumper, as you can see, we have these 3 pivot clips holding on the stock fog lamp. What you're going to want to do is grab yourself a pair of pliers. We're going to want to squeeze these and pull the lamp through. We're going to go one at a time. Be careful not to break these because we are going to reuse them. From here, you're going to want to disconnect your fog light harness by pushing down on this tab and pulling away from the stock lamp. So now that we have the stock fog lamps out, we're going to want to remove these pivot clips by just pulling them off to the side like this. They'll pop out. And then we're going to want to install them on the fixed pins on the back of the Type GM bracket. Moving back to the front of the vehicle, we're going to want to actually install this stock bezel back onto the front of the bumper. But first, make sure you fish this stock harness back through the front of the fog light housing. And then line up these tabs on either side. You might want to start with the far side first. It makes things a little bit easier. And then just pop it all back into place. Next, we're going to plug the DT end into the back of the SS3 and then take the other end and plug it into the stock harness. Before we go and put everything back onto this vehicle, we're going to want to test the SS3s to make sure they do turn on. If they don't worry, just flip the connector 180 degrees and it should work just fine. So we're almost to the point where we're going to fit the SS3 into the stock bezel. To do that, we're going to line the longest pin up with the bottom hole here. So before we press our SS3 into the corresponding holes, we want to make sure it's lined up, hold it in place, so we can make our final adjustments and tighten these bolts down on the sides. Now that we have everything aligned, we're going to go ahead and press in the SS3. So now that our SS3s are installed, the last thing we need to do is put our fender liner back and install those 6 screws back to the fender liner. When you're done with this, you can complete the installation on the passenger side by repeating the same steps we did on the driver's side. Now we have our SS3s installed, not only does it give you a fresh modern look, but it also gives you a significant increase in light output compared to the factory fog lamps with no modification. Now, our GM bracket does make your SS3s protrude just a little bit, but what's nice about that is it lets us use our interchangeable SS3 covers on your vehicle. If you're looking to pick up a set of SS3s, lenses, or any of our other products, you can visit our link at diodedynamics.com or use our dealer locator tool to find a dealer near you. Thanks for watching.